60 years ago today, Dallas's county hospital, Parkland, became known nationwide. Good evening, I'm Clarice Tinsley. It is where President John F. Kennedy was rushed after being shot by an assassin's bullets. Parkland has moved to a new facility since then, but the Parkland Foundation has built a memorial park honoring the president who died there and the hospital that tried to save his life. Fox 4's Sean Rabb in studio with more.
The John F. Kennedy Park of Hope, Healing, and Heroes sits prominently on the new Parkland campus. Parkland, much more than a footnote in history that day, but rather thrust into a role it could have never imagined.
We felt like it was important to have a memorial so that Dallas could remember this part of the history.
The John F. Kennedy Park for Hope, Healing, and Heroes at Parkland Hospital, remembering when Parkland became part of American history.
It became the seat of government for the country, for Texas, with the governor in the hospital here. And so people that, were in the hospital business were thrust into, an entirely different piece of work with different concerns.
The primary feature wall marked by a timeline of the president's movements in North Texas, ending when he was pronounced dead.
I was chief resident in surgery, and I was 31 years old at the time.
Now 91, Dr. Ron Jones did not realize the severity of the president's injury until he got to Trauma Room 1.
I put in chest tubes in both sides, and we got an EKG machine hooked up, and it was just a straight line. So all this took place in a matter of 10 minutes.
Downward water flows in the park mirror the rhythm of the ocean and Kennedy's belief that each of our lives is reflected there. On the wall, names submitted by Parkland employees, honoring people they see as heroes. Parkland Police Captain Christy Tillery is there with her father, retired Dallas police officer John Rex Tillery, who started DPD September 1963.
And was on duty the day that JFK was shot. Although he was in training in class number 78, he still talks about that day and what it meant. And being here at Parkland for over 30 years, it just, we need to continue to honor and keep this as a memory and honor everyone that was here.
Present and past president and CEO of Parkland Foundation, Michael Horn and David Krause. This park, born in a conversation more than a decade ago with Joe Dealey.
And he made the comment over lunch that the president was shot in my park and he died in your hospital. We need to do something at New Parkland to remember him and to honor him. That was the beginning of that.
Certainly the vision that you were able to bring to fruition here in this park is really symbolic of what at Parkland we're trying to continue to do, to make healthcare accessible, to create spaces to convene our community. Really, what better place to honor and uplift the ideals of togetherness, of community, of resilience that here in this park, at Parkland Health.
And Dr. Ron Jones, one of those who attended, the president said they had no idea their hospital would be the place where the president would come should something happen. Tragically, something did. The park is open daily from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and will quickly become a place that will draw people in quiet, respectful reflection.